Good morning, LAP. Hope everybody's doing okay on Friday, November 20th. Another installment of your chairman video. Order bank Escape 25,347. Corsair 4,754 for a grand total of 30,101. Everybody knows we got a little extra excitement yesterday with getting to go home a little bit early for both crews, which worked out pretty good for everybody. Both shifts look good at running at least 8 hours today. Parts arrived last night. Parts are arriving on charter planes throughout the day. What happened yesterday with a charter plane arrived, it said it had 300 parts on it. Once it got over to the plant, unloaded it, there was only 120 parts on it. And find out that the governor or whoever of Chihuahua, Mexico, he put a mandate in on this past Monday, of only 60% in any one facility and no weekend work. So cutting back production to 60%, and they supply several plants throughout the Ford system. We were one of the ones affected, and we were one of the ones that also had product coming to us to keep us running. So, which is a good thing. That means, we're building a quality truck, we're hitting our numbers and getting it done in 8 hours. So that's a great job. We have conference calls that's going on about every 2 hours to know the status of the plant and how many parts are on the next charter, which I think is around noon. It'll be arriving here. We should have enough to finish out day shift and night shift for 8 hours. They had a meeting yesterday evening about the weekend and the plants in that certain area of Mexico. Looks like they approved them to work through the weekend. We don't know the percentage and how many. So parts, we should have enough parts if they're able to work the weekend to get us through next week and into the holiday. COVID at the plant, cases have slowed down somewhat from last week. All the positives so far that we have had have come from the outside, not from anybody getting transmitted throughout the plant, which is a good thing. But please make sure your family is following the social distancing guidelines and wearing the mask when they're around their friends, especially your teenager, your young ones that are out running around. Make sure they're wearing their mask. Don't put yourself at risk. Also, remember what the survey says when you're coming in the plant. There's only 3 questions. Like I said before, take the time to read those 3 questions. If it's a Monday morning, you're sitting in your car or right before, read them at least once a week to make sure nothing has changed in there. The first one, have you been diagnosed positive within the last 14 days, or are you waiting for a test result? If a lot of places, if you're going in with your normal symptoms, they're still requiring a test. If you have this cough or the flu-like symptoms, they're going to want you to take a test. If you're having surgery, they're going to want you to take the test. If you're waiting on a test result, you cannot come to work. You have to answer yes to the survey, and then it'll tell you to call medical and labor relations. The second one is if you've been in close contact with anybody that's tested positive, or if you're waiting for a clinical study, you have to answer yes. The last 14 days, if you experience flu-like symptoms or anything that is not normally how you feel during this time of the year. If you feel concerned whatsoever, you need to answer yes and go get tested or go see your primary care physician. Please. The COVID cases in Kentucky. Yesterday was a record case for Kentucky. New cases, 3,649. New deaths, 30 just yesterday. Positivity rate at 9.18%. Total deaths so far for Kentucky, 1,742. Currently hospitalized, we have 1,550. ICU, 358. And currently on a ventilator, 199. So this virus is not letting go. Hopefully the vaccine that they're looking at is coming at the end of the year. Hopefully it works as great as they say, the 90 to 95%. As you know, it's probably going to take a while to get to all of us that are in the auto industry or in production. They're going to go to the first responders, the medical field, and the ones that are suffering the most in the hospitals before it gets out. They're saying almost 6 months before everybody will have an opportunity to be vaccinated if they choose so. VCAP, it's the last day to go over pick up the VCAP from 8:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. today. It's the awning to the right side of the building. And I want to apologize for the ones that went over there. I didn't know there was a dollar amount that you had to give per month in order to receive a gift. That amount is $5. So if you give $5 or greater, you'll have a gift over there for your participation in VCAP. Please swing by the last day and get over and get your gift. I will get with the VCAP and find out exactly what we're going to do with the ones that didn't get picked up and try to make sure everybody gets those gifts. Bikes or bust, our total is 420 as of the reading of this video. Our goal is 2,000 bikes, so for our first day we're doing pretty good. The last drop-off time is 8 a.m. Monday morning. So if you think about it, we got 3,000 people. If 3 people get together and all just chip in, 15, 20 bucks, and 60 bucks for a bike, and that'll get us 1,000 bikes just from LAP. KTP does the same. They're looking at probably 3,000 bikes. So we have an opportunity to knock the 2,000 bikes out of the water. I'll try to go through this and read real slowly. I'm also going to send this out to the committeemen because there's been a lot of questions asked about TFT transferring to full-time in progression and how it pertains to your paid time off and your unpaid time. So the easy way to remember this is if you get your TFT, once you get 120 days worked or 4 calendar months prior to your seniority date, you will get 16 hours of paid time and 24 hours of unpaid time. If once it's time for you to convert to full time, if you got 4 months in, 16 weeks, 120 days, if you got that amount of time in before either June 1st or December 1st eligibility date, if you got more time than that, then you're going to qualify for vacation entitlement, which are pages 117 and 118 in the National Contract Volume 1. Once you qualify for eligibility time, then you'll lose your PTO time and your unpaid time. If you're not going to be eligible, which means you haven't worked 16 weeks, if you're only a month away from your December eligibility, you're going to keep that time until you qualify for your contractual time. So that's the key to that. Employees will be eligible to utilize their paid time for vacation time off. Only if you don't qualify for your regular time on your eligibility date. So that means you need to be your 16 weeks or more prior to December or June 1st. If you're less than that, that will just get added to your regular time. I'm going to send this paper out to all the committeemen so they'll have it. It's a lot easier to explain once you read over it. And we'll make sure everybody gets that out. Adopt a child, we're still missing a lot of the team leader amounts to get turned in. We need to get those in ASAP. If you haven't done that today, try to get it to us before we go out on vacation so people have the money so they can go shop for these kids and we won't have to pull additional money out of the account. And we can help the 125 kids so far, give them an exciting Christmas where they normally wouldn't usually have one. The dependent audit. You can call the NESC at 1-800-248-4444, or you can go on myfordbenefits.com and you can go through the back way. You go log on through your pay stub website. You look above that, you'll see My Benefits. You can click on that and it accepts your password that you use to get in through your pay stub website to get you in My Ford Benefits. Everybody has to do something if you have some sort of dependent. If it's your wife, they're going to want your marriage certificate and your W-2 showing you're claiming them. If you have dependents, they're going to want your W-2 and your birth certificates for those kids. This is the first time Ford's done an audit, a major audit, in a little over 10 years. So they're going to want all these documents uploaded and sent to them. So please make sure you do that, because if not, Ford's going to drop them right off the insurance and then you'll have to go through this whole process. Temporary bids. As you know, there's temporary drivers, temporary inspectors, temporary forks, and COT house painters up on the board for bid. This is something in the local contract that we post every 6 months for anybody that may be new as a base operator that has a seniority that qualify. And these base operators, they're eligible for these openings. And these temp jobs are for high absenteeism, COVID, cares, or people we have out on medical, where we don't have enough utility in all the zones or departments to cover everybody that we have out. These are not for full-time openings. These are just to help cover where we don't have enough utility to also get our 8% off on the calendar and cover the 4 to 10 that we have out on COVID, cares, medical, or just absenteeism. So these are not for full-time jobs. If everybody comes back, we got everything covered. The committeemen are watching in their areas to make sure that if these jobs are full-time jobs, somebody bid out or whatever, we're going to repost them and get them rebid. The UAW app is up and running. If you've had a chance, you can go to the Apple Store or Google Play, type in UAW 862. It'll be a blue box with a white UAW wheel. Click on that, download that. It'll want you to go in and create an account and put in an email. It'll email you a confirmation back, and it'll want you to submit some information, and you'll be good to go with the UAW app. This video will be on there. There'll be stuff from KTP, the chairman, all your different committees from the UAW. It's very informative, and we'd like to try to see if we can get every member onto the app. 5-day quit notices and terminations. As I talked at last one, we had, I think, almost 30 people on the 5-day quit notice. We've tried to contact, get a hold of them. Labor sent out letters. 8 people were terminated off that last 5-day quit that did not answer, did not get before the motor company, did not contact labor relations or medical. So please make sure you're answering the 5-day quits. Make sure your address is right. Make sure your phone number is correct. If you've changed it, you want to just verify if it's been changed in the last couple months, I'd go up there, just make sure I got it right. Make sure my phone number is exactly right. The area code is right. When your phone, make sure you're able to accept messages and voicemails on your phone. Well, a lot of the ones we're getting back, a voicemail's full. This phone is accepting calls. This phone does not take messages. The best thing to do is have your voicemail set up, let it go to your voicemail. Then you can replay it and hear it over and over again if you get a robocall from the plant. Winter's coming, bad weather, anything is possible. Now is the perfect time to make sure your things are updated. There's also another slip that needs to be filled out with your address, phone number, and any changes that you need to turn into your committeeman so we can get it over to the hall to make sure things at the hall match Ford. Ford, your address and all that's protected by Ford. We don't have access to that at the UAW hall. So please make sure that gets taken care of. Last but not least, the next week's lunch, the 15 minutes is what we negotiated into the contract so we wouldn't argue back and forth about Thanksgiving or Christmas, the extra additional time for lunch. So the 15 minutes will be added to your lunch time on days and nights right now. That's the plan. If hopefully things don't change, like the parts issue and all that, if something changes, we'll try to make sure we get out and get to talking with management and get something worked out to where we get our additional time. As you've seen, me and the plant manager put a letter out. We still can't have potlucks. We can't have a bunch of gatherings. Sit separated, have your lunch, take a little bit extra time to thank your coworkers, appreciate them, appreciate what you do every day. It's definitely not going to be no more than 8 hours. Thanksgiving's one of the contractual holidays that Ford Motor Company has to go 8 hours on Wednesday before the holiday on both shifts. There's a chance they may survey. I doubt they'll survey for any additional time. So I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving. Next Friday we will be off. I appreciate the jobs you do and getting us to where we are today. Please enjoy your family, your friends. Practice social distancing, wear your mask. We're working on with the company to try to see if we can't get additional masks to pass out to everybody. So you can take some home with you and give to your family members or somebody at home or wherever you may be going for Thanksgiving. And make sure they wear the mask. Be safe, wash your hands, sanitize, and know the people that you're around and where they've been, and be safe. On myself, the committee, we want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving and God bless.